Greetings and salutations. I am trying to manifest me to make 2 videos a week. We'll see how great that goes. But hello, welcome to a new video. If it's your first time here, if it is your first time here, welcome. My name is Karen, and I'm gonna yap. I'm not a yapper. I wasn't born a yapper. I was the complete opposite, actually. I was mute till like 2nd grade. To the public, at least. But today I am going to be answering y'all's questions that were given to me on Instagram, because I don't have clout on here, so I don't think anyone was gonna give me questions for this Q&A. So I was like, Instagram it is. Question number 1: how do you do line art? I think the one thing I really enjoy about doing line art is I just go ahead head empty. I don't usually do sketches. I'm assuming when I record the video for this video, I'll be drawing straight with a pen, not a sketch. Honestly, I think if you're like heavy-handed where you're really pressing on the paper, maybe stop doing that and draw more loosely. Try to time yourself and just draw quickly. I think that's what I enjoy most about like drawing like figures and people. It's just the fluidity. I like to be fluid with my line art. Next question: how to expand art account / gain followers tips. Honestly, at least for Instagram, I think it's just been, the algorithm has been changing like periodically, like at least like quarterly. As of right now, I still struggle from time to time, so because it does change. Trending audio is goated, and if you have a business account, I believe they show you like an inspiration page where you can like see like, oh, what your followers are looking at, or people like that make your type of content, this is what they're doing. And sometimes I go on there to like see like, oh, like what can I do, like something lightweight. Posting consistently is a big thing. When I don't post for like a week or like several days, I notice that the algorithm goes down and it's like, peace. Another thing, this is going to be harsh, but you have to make good quality art. Now, art is subjective. It could be good or bad depending on the person who is viewing it, but if you want to seek more engagement, you have to post something that people are gonna react to immediately, whether it's a reel and they're just looking at the video several times because they're like, whoa, how did they do this, or I want to see like how this goes. Or if it's a photo and you know, like you don't want them to just quickly scroll away, that's the last thing you want to do. You want them to stay on your post, you want them to like it, you could want them to comment on it. And I think what I've heard lately from my sources, my boyfriend, he was telling me that someone told him that saves are like the biggest, no, not saves, shares are the biggest factor to the algorithm right now. So maybe you want to promote or post content that is targeted towards like, you know, relationship advice, or like just your feelings, how some people can relate. Like, what can you post to get engagement? How can you make this person comment on it? How can you make this person like it or share it with their partner? Like, oh, like relationship goals or relationship blah blah blah, or this is like 5 signs of why your relationship is shit. I'm just like coming up with examples because I get that a lot on my feed and I don't know why, because like I promise my relationship is good. But those are just a couple examples of how you can promote your social media, and this goes for like anything, honestly. Also like YouTube and I guess Twitter and TikTok, but honestly I feel like TikTok is dying and TikTok sucks in my opinion. But yeah. Next question: I'm a beginner and haven't practiced in like 2 years. I'm scared I'm going to run out of my skills. I think of it like this. I don't know if you drive, but if you do, you know, you could not drive for several fucking years, and when you do have to drive at some point. You're like, oh wow, this was like easy. This was like already like, I knew this. I knew how to do this. And I think that's something you should implement when you're doing any type of skill that you haven't touched upon in a while. Of course, you might be a little bit rusty, but that doesn't mean you don't have the knowledge from what you've learned several years ago. That's still programmed in your brain depending on how long you have been studying or drawing art, right? There's no such thing as you're running out of skill. You can't really run out of a skill unless like you like, I don't know, like some horrible shit happens to you where you're incapable of drawing. Honestly, there's no such thing as running out of skill, especially as an artist. You can only go up, honestly. If you're going down, I don't know what to tell you. Next question is, what kind of brushes do you use? I like to use watercolor brushes. Nothing too fancy, nothing too cheap. I think the brushes I usually go for are like Princeton or like the Blix brushes that I have, I think. And was it Princeton? Whatever it's called. It's like I have a blue one, I have a green one, and then I have like a red one. What the brands are, I couldn't tell you, but I do like to use flat brushes and rounded brushes. Those are my top two kinds of brushes, and the detailed brush when I want to be like really intricate. Next question, how to find motivation and inspiration. When you want to find motivation, this is what a friend told me. You can't wait for the motivation, right? You have to just fucking do it. Like, you know, my friend told me, I was like, oh yeah, like I told my friend, I want to like be more consistent with working out, and I'm like waiting for the motivation to start or waiting for the motivation to like actually do it that day. And what he told me was like, you can't wait for the motivation, because like no one wants to fucking work out, like unless you're like really like enjoy it, like then go ahead. But if you're waiting for this motivation, it's never going to come, because maybe you don't want to do it, or maybe you don't want to do this certain thing. You learn how to draw anatomy, or learn the muscles, or learn how to draw backgrounds, trees, whatever you have it. You just have to do it. Now, for inspiration, I feel like inspiration can kind of like go hand in hand with motivation if you really want to like be motivated. I think watching movies, particularly me, I like watching animated movies like Studio Ghibli and Disney and all that shit, or like Wes Anderson films, but I heard he's like a horrible person. I think maybe Tim Burton, but he's low-key, high-key racist nonetheless. Or looking through your social media. But the thing is, when you're scrolling through social media, you want to make sure that you're looking through the content that is solely art, or solely whatever you want to draw or be inspired by. You don't want a random like funny post to just like pop in, because then I feel like you start to get lost and you're like, oh, this is just scrolling. No, you don't want to treat it as scrolling. You want to treat it as this source of inspiration. I think Pinterest is the best way to go about that. Like just typing illustrations, or like a specific one, fall illustrations, or floral illustrations, outfit illustrations, you know, like fashion illustration, all of these like types of things, and it'll like, you know, it'll give you what you want to look at for inspo. What is your favorite, what is your least favorite art medium? Acrylic. I hate that it dries out so quickly, and I had to use it for a class like back in college, and I fucking hated the entire semester. I did it, I passed with an A because I'm nice with it. I'm nice with just bullshitting my way out, not nice with acrylic. I would never honestly want to touch it again, not even with like a 9-foot pole. I gave all of my acrylic paints to my brother for his classes, and I think he said the same thing, that acrylic isn't his thing. So we're both like gouache people, or like he's more watercolor, I'm more gouache. I hate watercolor too. I'm still trying to familiarize myself with it, but honestly, like I just enjoy gouache better because it's just like the thick consistency, and yeah. Also, I favor ink over watercolor because the wash is permanent, and so like if you like put another layer of like whatever color, it's gonna overlap, as opposed to watercolor where it just kind of smudges in together. And I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. Maybe I'm wrong. I just hate watercolor. I don't really care for it that much, therefore I don't really want to learn about it, at least right now. Maybe my mind will change in the future. Do you sometimes feel like you can't incorporate all the text that you want to add into an art piece? Therefore, you have to cut out some text, but the thought doesn't feel fully conveyed anymore. I think when, specifically with like comics, because that's the only time I'm ever like writing in my art, it usually is very long because I tend to reiterate and just yap, add a lot of fluff words, and so then I had to go through like maybe 2-3 revisions for the phrase of whatever comic I'm doing, and go from there. I think sometimes, in rare occasions, I'll lose some of that extra feeling that I wanted to invoke in my comic, but I think it all depends on how you're able to shorten it but still keep it in that frame of the emotions you want to express. And of course, you drawing whatever in that comic panel can also add impact to whatever phrase you're saying, despite it being shorter. You can also just add like in the caption, like, yeah, this is my thoughts on when I was creating this piece. Like, not much of a problem. How do you come up with things to draw? Please help. That's a great question. Inspiration, honestly, I like to go on Pinterest. I love drawing people, so I will go look through like magazines, like fashion magazines, specifically Fudge Men, because I love drawing dudes, and just looking through their outfits and just drawing them. Other times I will also, I've been doing this a lot lately. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, do so. I have been creating a lot of comics that are dealing with my emotions, my feelings, my depression, my anxiety. And so what I'll do, either I'll like journal or like I'll write down in my sketchbook like, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now, and just not, it's just a bunch of sentences. It doesn't have to be like coherent. It doesn't need to be in orderly fashion. And then I try to come up with like different thumbnails of like, okay, what can I do for this phrase? What can I do for this sentence? How about this sentence? How can I make this into a panel? Do I put this photo with this? And I go from there. As for full illustrations, I would say I just use my personal life, personal life, but like also like experiences in life to create an illustration. Of course, it'll take like time. You have to sketch out like panels and not panels, so sketch out like thumbnails and like see like what's the best approach to do that. I go on Pinterest for inspiration, of course, or I'll look at like art books, like my Studio Ghibli art books, or like Noma, just a shit ton. I honestly have a shit ton of them, and go from there. Yes. How are you such a cutie patootie? I just wanted to answer this. My boyfriend said this. I'm not. I mean, I guess I invoke some cutie patootie energy, but I wouldn't say I'm a cutie patootie. I would say I'm just a little artiste, you know? Anyways, how'd you get so many followers on Insta? I'm trying to build a following, but I don't know how to. Drawing niche things like fan art of a band or, you know, anime, a show, whatever, getting those people to feed into the algorithm for you and getting going from there, or following trends. It doesn't have to be particularly like, oh, you have to like dance or do this or that, but just using the audio, that trending audio for background for your art. And I think quality, like I said before, is key to this. You want to make sure that each like change into clips or transition into clips is matching with the beat of the song. How often did you used to draw during high school? This is very interesting. I've never been asked this question. I think I used to draw a good amount, a lot more definitely than I do now, because I mostly am drawing for work rather than for pleasure or enjoyment. But I would say, let's say like 5 times a week, and maybe I'd be doing stuff on the weekends, but I wasn't allowed to go out as a kid. So I think I still drew even then. It wasn't good, trust me, it was not good, but nonetheless, I really enjoyed drawing, and like I was still like learning, so I just was so eager to like draw things all the time. How did you learn color theory? I didn't. What are your tips and advices for new artists on Instagram who want to grow their account? I already answered this. Anatomy tips and material. If you look back on a video from like 2 years ago that I did, I think I give a kind of alright tips on anatomy. I think just study the movements, line of action, and going from there. So doing gesture drawings is a big thing. Drawing people naked is also a big thing, because drawing people with clothes is kind of hard to get where the body is at, where the clothes are being placed. I think the important thing is to study the muscles and whatnot for anatomy, and also just draw anatomy, do gesture drawings for like at least like 20-30 minutes. If you have a lot of time, do it for an hour. Time yourself, keep it short, don't do it more than like 2 minutes. Don't get stuck up on the details. I think when I was learning anatomy, I would get stuck up on the details, and I'd say draw based on shapes and not just the figure as a whole. Just get the basic shapes down and then progress from there. I don't know where to start. I can't find my art niches. Can you help? And how can I make a portfolio? Okay, so the first thing, you just have to explore. Like, that's the best way I could put it. You know, it's kind of like dating, you know? You don't know like what you want. So like you really gotta like go out there and like see like, okay, red flag, green flag, red flag, green flag, red flag, green flag. Or I'll compare it to like this is more like serious but when you're going through like SSRIs, like a medication for your brain, you know, some medications don't react to people well, so then you'll want to explore what is the best option for you that helps bring you serotonin into your brain, while also not giving you like bad symptoms where you're nauseated, or like you're just like out of it all the time, or you're sleepy, or you can't sleep, or you piss a lot like me. I think just exploring your options is a great way like to that, and just see what artist you gravitate towards and be like, would I want to draw like them? And I guess try to like not copy, but like be inspired by them. And how do I make a portfolio? I think pick your best like 10 to 15 pieces. Make sure there's a variation to it. You know, you don't want it to be all digital, you don't want it to be all gouache or just sketches. Like, have a variation of sketches, full illustrations, I don't know, character designs if you want to do like animation, comics, like narrative illustrations. Different types of illustrations would definitely help you get to whether you want to get into like a college or a job. I think particularly with a job, you want to kind of look for what they want, and you know, base your portfolio off of that. tips on how to fill up your sketchbook. Just go on Pinterest every day. Honestly, draw one thing every day, or draw a spread or page every day. Do like 30 minutes. Just time yourself and just go from there. Do different mediums. You could do markers, Posca markers, pens, ink, gouache, you know. If you want to fill out the spaces of certain things, like if you're drawing people, I like to like draw like stars, like just little doodles, and going from there. If you want to, that's if you like want an aesthetic sketchbook. If you want like more elaborated sketchbooks, I guess like just having an idea sketchbook, like your ugly sketchbook, where you have all your jots and ideas down, or you have your thoughts and thoughts and ideas down, and going from there. But I think I answered all of your questions, and hopefully I'll actually be consistent with posting on YouTube. God forbid someone call me out if I don't, but I am low-key trying to challenge myself and get to 100k subscribers. I'm trying to get that silver plaque by the end of the year, if you know what I'm saying. So if you want to help and contribute, you can do so by, I don't know, maybe watching this video, boosting up the algorithm, maybe giving it a like, and to really help me get to the silver plaque, maybe subscribing would be nice. You trying to watch more videos like this? Not particularly Q&As, because there's only so many questions I can answer. A lot of the questions are the same. Yeah, and check out my social media, particularly Instagram, because that's usually the most I'll ever post on. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.